Hi, I'm Nico and welcome to my channel. So today's video is the last part of my 3-part series of videos all about my recent trip to Japan. If you haven't seen the first 2 parts, do consider checking them out as I will be putting the links down below. So this is my 3rd day in Japan. I was actually supposed to go back to the Philippines since in the itinerary from Bandai, all of the finalists were supposed to go back to their respective countries on the 17th. So our ticket from Bandai was we arrived on the 15th, the event was on the 16th, and then we go back home on the 17th. But we decided to stay just one more day so we can have the whole day to just shop and look around Japan for longer. Actually, a lot of the representatives, a lot of the finalists chose to extend their stay for several days. Like I think Singapore, the under 20 category, he and his family are staying there for 5 more days. And I think I also heard one of the contestants, they're gonna stay there for 7 more days. And actually, some of the other finalists, they arrived there a lot earlier than us. So we arrived there on the 15th, right? So I think the UK finalists, one of them, arrived there a couple days earlier. So basically, if you want to extend your stay, you can do so, but just know that Bandai won't be paying for your return ticket back to your home country. So for us, we had to pay for our return ticket back to the Philippines. Anyways, the reason why we extended our stay is because, like I said earlier, we wanted to explore Japan a little bit more. So we had to go to Shinjuku because we had to buy something there. I know that Akihabara is the more popular place to visit, but it's actually almost a 2-hour train ride away from our hotel, so it's just not worth the extra time to go there and back, since that's almost a 4-hour commute. So since we already needed to go to Shinjuku, I googled the places where we can find Gunpla and tools there. So in this video, we're going to take a look at shopping in Shinjuku. For those visiting Japan, there's a chance you may be staying in the Shinjuku area, and you won't have to go far for your Gunpla needs. We're going to take a look at 2 stores that can help you out. Our favorites, Gbwc Camera and Yodobashi Camera. So to get into Shinjuku from Diversity, where our hotel is, we took the train. It was a little bit confusing because there's a lot of stations and sometimes you have to get off and walk to a different one. But aside from that, buying the ticket is actually very easy. Plus, it's way cheaper than riding a taxi, of course. So the train ride is almost an hour away from Diversity, which is not that bad. So yeah. Also, there's one place that I did not expect to be a lot closer to Diversity than I thought was the Gundam factory in Yokohama. So, Yokohama apparently is just a 40-minute to an hour train ride away from Diversity. But I did not found out about it until I was on the plane going back to the Philippines. So, hopefully next time I get to go there. So now let's talk about Yodobashi Camera. So Yodobashi is split into several buildings that sell different things. We're interested in Yodobashi's game and hobby building. So once you head out of the west exit, as you saw earlier in the video, Yodobashi is pretty hard to miss, being right by the Keio Highway bus terminal. So there's actually 2 Yodobashi Camera and 2 Gbwc Camera buildings in Shinjuku. But we're gonna focus on the west side of Shinjuku because Yodobashi and Gbwc Camera here are a lot bigger compared to the east side. So right now, we are walking into Yodobashi Camera Hobby and Game Building. So in Yodobashi Camera, there's 2 floors all focused about Gunpla, plastic model kits, tools, and everything related to our hobby. So for the Gunpla kits, the plastic model kits, and a lot of the little collectible toys and figures, you can find those on the 2nd floor, or let's say the 1st floor of the building. It's jam-packed with a lot of kits, a lot of car model kits, ships, military tanks, even trains. Of course, Gunpla kits, there's Hasegawa kits, Kotobukiya kits. It's just super packed with a lot of model kits and everything that you want and dream of. Of course, there's also a lot of displays there. I believe there's actually the Orazaku 2023 winner that is displayed there, which is super nice, and a lot of their displays are just competition level. So usually with Gundam, I mean with mall displays, it's just like a built, snap built Gunpla, right? And that's it. It's just for a mall. But here, everything is so nice. All of the displays are painted. There's even dioramas, and it looks super nice, especially the paint job. So for me, it's been a dream of mine. Like, it's been my goal to produce a kit, a model kit that is super painted nicely, like super clean, with no dust, no dirt, and anything like that. I still haven't achieved it, but hopefully next year, 2024, I get to produce a Gunpla kit that is super nice, super clean, and it looks like it's not painted at all. So walking inside this building, it's just super nice. Like, I have never been inside a hobby shop before that is this big. Like, usually I am so used to the hobby stores here in the Philippines where you have to walk sideways because shelves are so put together. So it's very tight there here usually. So this was super nice. It's like walking inside a library, but instead of books you see a lot of model kits. So I was just filming everything and looking around. Obviously later in this video you will see me buying a lot of kits, a lot of tools. Well, not really a lot, but I did buy a couple of kits and tools there. But for the first round, what I did was I recorded the whole place first. So I looked around, I showed you guys here what they have in stock. So they have a lot. And then after that we went to the the second floor, which is where all the tools are located. So after that, I went back to the first floor. I think I will be able to show it later in this video. I went back to the first floor and recorded myself buying the actual kits that I wanted. But right now in this video, you can just see me walking around and looking at all of this stuff first and trying to take it all in because it's just super big. It's the biggest hobby shop that I've ever been in. So yeah, that was a really awesome experience. So I think I've mentioned this before in a lot of my previous videos. I just haven't done it yet. But I'm actually also interested in military tanks in fine scale modeling. I did a one video where I did a car. I can link that down below. But I also have a few of these military tanks, of course Tamiya, because this is one of the most widely available military tanks brand in the Philippines. So it was super nice seeing a lot of stocks there. And also a lot of options for the figures itself. So I'm always looking for 1:35 figures, 1:48 figures, and 1:60 figures because I can use those for Gunpla dioramas. So also, there's a lot of options there. I'm not familiar with the brands. Obviously we know Hasegawa, we know Tamiya, Revel, Kotobukiya, but there's also I'm not sure if it's just because they're not available in the Philippines, so I don't know them. But I got one. I will show in another video where I will do a video haul, an unboxing of what I got there. I'm not familiar with the brand, but I got it because it was super cute, like a yellow little bus. So yeah. So looking back at this video, I actually just realized that they don't really have a lot of Gunpla kits. Like, I see a lot of model kits, of course, but like you see here, there's rows and rows and shelves of model kits of cars. So that's a lot. They also have a lot of military tanks, a lot of boats, I don't know what you call them, ships, and even trains and even buildings like the one you put on train dioramas. I'm not sure what it's called, but they have a lot of those, a lot of figures as well, and a lot of mecha model kits but not necessarily Gunpla. So looking at this video again, oh, they also have a lot of helicopters, of course, a lot of airplanes, but looking back, there's not a lot of Gunpla kits. Like you can see here, there's no shelves full of Gunpla. Of course, they have a few. Like I've seen an RG new Gundam right in front of the door. But like I said, there's no actual shelves for Gunpla. There's no dedicated shelf or space for Gunpla here, which I was not aware of while I was there, because I was looking for, I was more interested in tools, Gunpla tools, and I was also looking for very hard to find kits here in the Philippines, which I was able to find there. So I got those. I got a bunch of model kits that I've been wanting for a long time that are not Gunpla. So I will be showing you guys a little Gunpla, well, not a Gunpla haul, but a haul of the kits that I got and the tools that I got in a separate video, which I will be posting soon. So click the bell button if you haven't already, so you won't miss any of my uploads. So like I said earlier, there's not a lot of Gunpla options here in Yodobashi Camera, especially when you compare it to my last video where I toured you guys around the Gundam base Tokyo. So that's basically heaven for Gunpla enthusiasts. But here in Yodobashi Camera, it's not really a dream place to visit. Of course, it's worth looking at, but for Gunpla enthusiasts, if what you build is just pure Gunpla, you won't really find anything worth buying here. But if you just love model kits in general, if you build anything that caught your attention, this is a place that is perfect for you. It's super nice to visit and just look around, and maybe you get interested in other categories of the hobby, like military tanks, ships, cars, and not just Gunpla. So like I said, there's not a lot of Gunpla kits here, but there is a lot of like very old, vintage, and rare model kits that you might want, you might find interesting. I found one that is, I'm not even sure what it is. Like, I think it's a figure of this weird looking cartoons. And then they also have a bunch of model kits apparently of Japanese shrines and temples and like old Japanese houses. That was a little bit interesting, but not interesting enough for me to buy it. And then they also have this wall full of course, add-ons and option parts. They have stands for Gunpla. They have display bases, display cases, acrylic bases, of course. And I think even a turntable and a photo booth for your figures and model kits. So that was interesting. And I think they also even have like lights that you can buy for taking photos of your models. They also have this, I think this is 1:12 scale figures, that like the schoolgirls with the weapons. I'm not sure what it's called. And then they also have this very weird big minion thing. I think it's figures. I don't know how big it is actually. So that was pretty funny. And of course, they have the collectibles, the anime figures there. And here on this shelf here, they have Moderoids. Not really familiar with them. I just know they're a little bit more pricier than Gunpla. So they have those. And then on another side, they have, on this shelf, they have tools, Gunpla tools, and decals, and option parts. So I was tempted to buy this, but I did not really like the designs, so I did not get any of those Hick model parts. So like I said, they have a lot of Bandai stuff here, a lot of Pokemon, 30-minute missions, the dinosaur thingy of Bandai. They have even, oh, this one is really nice. They have this Kamen Rider stuff. I'm not very interested in those. So again, they have a lot of Bandai products, but just not enough Gunpla. And so I This one, I've been looking at it for so long. Like, I had this on my HLJ wish list. It's Valley of the Wind model kits. I did not get one for myself because I was looking for like the big black bird. I don't know the name of it. I just really liked it, so I did not find that. But my dad did get one Valley of the Wind model kit, so I will be showing that in my haul video. So here we have Kotobukiya, a lot of Kotobukiya model kits and add-ons. So I already know that Kotobukiya are a lot pricier than Gunpla. So of course I did not get anything from that shelf. So here we have their add-ons. They have, like the weapons that you can put and stuff like that. You can make that work with Gunpla. You can kit bash it, but again, it was pricey for me, so I did not really get anything. So here I was looking at, these are the shelves that I think a lot of these kits are not readily available in a lot of hobby shops. So here we have the Mechatro Wigo, we have Mac kits, MAK kits, and just a lot of very old vintage and spaceships and sci-fi stuff. And I was hoping to find a Scope Dog, but I think I'm just gonna wait for Bandai Scope Dog. I think they're gonna release that, right? The HG Scope Dog. Because I've been looking for that for so long, I still haven't found one. I found one, but it was just a display. They don't sell it anymore. But this was such an awesome find. I have been wanting to try Mac kits for so long because it's like the perfect balance between mecha or gunpla and fine scale, right? So it was super hard to find here in the Philippines. Some people are selling it, but super marked up. So you'll have to pay like 4 times, 5 times the amount. So I haven't tried a Mac kit just yet. So here we found a couple of Mac kits that are super nice. So I also got one for myself. I will be showing that, of course, in my haul video. And here we just have a bunch of not very popular model kits. So here we have like dioramas for animals. And then on this shelf we have, like I said, older mecha sci-fi stuff. I'm not familiar with it, but it was really nice, and of course it's cheap. What I found funny about here in Japan, so like Yolo Park is a China brand, right? So they make transformers. So here in the Philippines, a Yolo Park, the Bumblebee one, that's like around maybe $30 to $40. But in Japan, when I saw a Yolo Park Bumblebee there, so I grabbed it. I was wondering how much it will cost because it's not from Japan. So I got it, and the price was like double. It was 60 to 80 bucks. So I immediately put it back and I was like, no thanks. It was super expensive because again, it's from China, so they also had to ship it to Japan. So now we're here at the second floor of Yodobashi Camera building. So you can find this wall of Warhammer stuff, which is surprising, and also this awesome wall of flat plates. Like they have Tamiya, Evergreen, and a bunch of other brands that I'm not familiar with. Super nice. We grabbed a lot of Tamiya flat plates and rods and tubes because it's so hard to find them in the Philippines. Like nobody is selling Tamiya flat plates here. And of course, Tamiya flat plates are still the best flat plates to use for kit bashing and scratch building. In fact, I have never used them before. So of course, we grabbed them. Because back in my dad's day, he used a lot of flat plates to scratch build and kit bash when he does Gunpla. So now I'm thinking that I might be sharpening my skills when it comes to kit bashing and scratch building for next year's competition. So we grabbed a bunch of Tamiya flat plates there. And yeah, so they also have a bunch of this parts that you might need for your spray booth for airbrushing. They have filters, they have tubes, they have gas mask, they have, yeah, just a lot of things, anything that you might need. Also, they sell a lot of airbrushes for cheap. Also, this one, the Tamiya spray, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's basically just what you use to be able to airbrush your cars and tanks easier. I was super bummed that I did not get that because I've been looking for it everywhere. It's always out of stock here in the Philippines. I was already holding it, but then I told myself I'll just look around, then forgot about it. So at the end, I was not able to grab one. Here we have a wall of oil paints, enamel paints, acrylic paints, lacquer of course. Almost everything is Japanese made, Japanese brand. So we have Tamiya, we have what else? Mr. Hobby and a bunch of those paints. They have spray boots that are so easy to buy, which I was jealous about because in the Philippines like it's so hard to buy spray boots for cheap, right? They also have like ultrasonic cutter, ultrasonic cleaners. They have a lot of stuff, a lot of hobby tools, anything that sometimes you don't even know you need them, but when you see it there, apparently it's a need. So here we have a bunch of power tools also. They have even tools for wiring, for LED stuff there, and for RC cars, so screwdrivers and stuff like that. So the second floor of Yodobashi Camera building is just full of tools, anything that you might need. It's as big as the first floor, of course. Um, but yeah, like here you can see this wall of paintbrushes and Gundam markers. Actually, I have never used Gundam markers before, but it was so nice seeing them just displayed. You can just grab it and go. And they also have this shelf full of blades and cutters, scissors, art knife, anything that you need. All kinds of spare blades, they have it. I did not buy anything because I was scared that I'm not gonna be able to bring it back home to the Philippines, like customs and stuff like that. Plus, I already have a lot of art knives and blades. So here I showed my dad the wall of pla plates. And of course, he immediately started grabbing anything that we might need. Because like I said earlier, I have never used Tamiya pla plates before. So he wants me to try them. I mean, I've used like off-brand styrene sheets that you can buy online. And so far, it's worked well for me. Like, I'm able to scratch build and use it to customize anything that I want. And I mean, I have 2 gold trophies under my name already while using them. But still, I think it's gonna be way better and way easier if once I've tried the Tamiya pla plate. So we'll see. And here we have a bunch of like paint stuff. They have top coats, paints, thinners, and anything that you might need for painting your Gunpla. I think we got a couple of enamel bottles. But yeah, like aside from that, we already have a bunch of paints back home, so we did not really get anything from the paint section. So here is my dad wanting a picture with the pla plates. And then here we're going back here to this shelf. This one I think is full of, like I said, art knives, nippers, weighing scale, and they also even have like a bunch of LED stuff. So here they have tweezers, a lot of tweezers, a lot of nippers, pliers, and just really it's just super overwhelming seeing a lot of tools like this. They have guide tapes. I forgot to grab guide tapes. I mean, I have a lot, but I just wanted to try a different brand. They also have, I was thinking of getting nippers. Like here, they have a lot of nippers. They don't have the God Hand, like the SPN04, I think it's what it's called. They don't have those. But I do recall people telling me that even in Japan, it's hard to get that. So this one, I was super happy about this. It's like a puncher. You can use it with pla plate, so you just punch it in and there's already a design. You don't have to work hard to make vents and stuff like that. So I got one of those. I'll be showing later. I mean in a different video. They have a bunch of these rulers and templates. And cutting mat, of course. So this is the area of the shelf where I stayed the longest. So before going to Japan, I said to myself that all I need to buy are sanding tools, sandpaper, sanding blocks, files, sanding sticks, because I need to replace my old sanding tools. But when I got there, apparently I need a lot more tools. So here they have like containers for diorama stuff. I think they have this wall of thin cement, putty, CA glue. So these are, I regret not getting any of their putty because like I recently saw a bunch of Japanese modelers and their putty are so easy to use. It's so easy to scribe into and carve. So I should have gotten what they use so I can do their mods as well. So on this other shelf, on the other side, they have a bunch of LED stuff, wiring, also anything that you need for RC cars, they have it there. And here they have a bunch of things that you might need for your trains. So they have like the houses, the trains itself, the tufts and greenery, the rails, they have those for if your hobby is trains. I don't know what it's called. So yeah, it's just a bunch of books here, hobby books. And yeah, like I said, for the trains, I was wondering what these are. Maybe it's cardboard or paper that you use for trains, but it was a little bit expensive for just that piece of product, so I did not get it. And I wasn't sure what's inside. So here are a bunch of, like I said, things that you use for trains. So this, you can use this for Gunpla diaramas for high grade 1:144 dioramas. But this can be a little bit pricey, so I did not get those. So here I was really happy about this. They have a bunch of tufts and grasses and anything for dioramas, they have it. They also even have like the silicone molds for if you want to make your own rocks. Here they have trees, they have like cork boards and like carpets that you can just cut and you have a grass already. So I think that train modeling is very popular in Japan because now that I'm looking at this video again, almost half of the second floor of the tools, half of the space are for anything that you need for trains, like a bunch of trains, a bunch of railing, a bunch of like details that you can add. And yeah, so I think it's really popular because they're proud of their trains. I mean, they should be proud of their trains. It's a very efficient way to get from one place to another. So yeah, here we're back again on the shelf full of sanding stuff. Like I said, I keep coming back here because this is really just what I need. Like, a lot of the tools that I got, I can live without those, but I cannot live without any new sanding tools because again, my old ones are almost dying. So in this part of the video, I just started getting and grabbing all of the tools that I wanted. So as you can see, I have a basket with me and I'm just going through all of the shelves again and looking at anything that I found interesting and the things that I knew that I needed. Here, and this one is a funny but useless tool. Like, you can use it to stamp that face on anything that you want, so it was pretty useless and it was also even pricey. So this one I was contemplating on getting. It adds like rivets on your work, but apparently it doesn't really look that nice when you apply it on your actual gunpla. So this one I was super happy about this. I have a hard time of cutting off anything perfectly. Like when I cut a plastic rod, it's not perfect. It's not like perfectly angled. It's not straight. It's just bad. So I got that because you can use it. It's like a guide. So you, every time you cut anything, you saw off anything, it's perfect. So you can make a perfect 60-degree angle, 90 degrees, and anything like that. So this one, I was looking for the puncher that I want. There's various designs. I got this one. It's basically like the most basic for me. You can use it to make vents. You don't have to collect a bunch of bread clips and put them together to make vents. You can just use that and punch it through a flat plate, and then you have a perfectly designed flat plate. And here I'm just looking around seeing if I need anything. I wanted like spin blades for, you use it to make a hole on your part and then you put a photo etch inside. I did not find one that I wanted. This one I already have a bunch of hand reamers, so I did not get that. And they also have a bunch of this sold individually drill bits, which I did not care for because again I have a lot of those already. So yeah, I'm just looking around and seeing what else I need. This one I'm super happy about. It's a parallel scriber, so if you want to scribe on rounded edges and stuff like that, you can use this. It's very easy, makes your life easier. I have one, a cheaper version, and you use it on an art knife handle. And in order to adjust the length, the height of the distance, I mean, of the scriber, you have to use a screwdriver. So it's such a hassle, and you don't really get your perfect length, perfect distance, so it's just hard work. This one, I'm also very happy about this. I'm super happy with all of the tools that I got. This one is just an easier way of cutting flat plates. So that's very useful, especially now that I'm planning to improve my skills when it comes to scratch building. So here I already got the parallel scriber. So here you can see me just grabbing a bunch more sanding tools that I decided I wanted and needed. So I did not really buy a lot of tools, just the tools that will make my life easier, especially for contest pieces. So yeah, after that I went ahead and started to pay. So what I really loved about a lot of stores in Japan is the fact that they are tax-free. Just present your passport and then they deduct the tax. So that was really nice. So after that, we went back to the first floor and I started getting the kits that I wanted. So what I did was, after filming the first floor, the second floor, I got the tools first because that's more important for me. Like, I can live without the kits, but with the tools, I just really want them. So I got the tools first, and then we went back to the first floor and I started shopping for the kits that I wanted. So like I mentioned earlier, I did not really buy a lot of Gunpla kits because aside from not being able to use them on GBWC because there's no Banky sticker, I decided that I wanted to focus on getting the kits that are not available in the Philippines. So Mecha Go, I have been wanting Mecha Go kits for a long time because it's just super cute and so perfect for diorama builds and for YouTube videos. So I got those, and I finally got myself a Mac kit. So I got this one. I think this is the Nutcracker. It's a big, kind of like spaceship, but it's super affordable. So I got that, and a bunch of other not Gunpla model kits. So I will show that, of course, in a separate video where I unbox and show you guys everything that I got from my Japan trip. So yeah, after looking around once more for anything that I want, I went ahead and paid for all of the kits that I got. So obviously, I was worried about the luggage space because I only bought one big luggage. So I did not really get a lot of model kits. So, Big Camera is just a couple minutes walk away from Yodobashi Camera building. And here you can see us walking towards Big Camera. Unfortunately, I was not able to film more than this. But personally, I think that Big Camera is just a smaller version of Yodobashi. They have almost the same exact selection and stock of tools and kits. Maybe the only difference is that Big Camera, they go on sales a lot more than Yodobashi. But still, the prices are very competitive among the two. It's also worth going into Big Camera, especially if you have your family with you. They have a lot of toys, arcades, gashapons, and stuff like that. So we had dinner at Shinjuku at a really nice place, and we stayed there until around 8 p.m. Then we took a taxi back to our hotel because we have a lot of stuff and we were already pretty tired. So the next day is our last day in Japan. So this is us on the bus going to Toyosu Station. From Toyosu Station, we were gonna go ride a train again or a bus. But since we were running late, we just decided to book a taxi from Toyosu Station to the airport. We arrived at the airport around 11, I think, and our flight was around 12:40 p.m. And so actually we had to run through the airport just to make it to our flight. Thankfully it was delayed. Like right as we got to the gate, they announced that it was delayed for like an hour or two, maybe an hour. So we were able to eat lunch before boarding the plane. So yeah, this was a super fun experience. My first time in Japan. It's very unforgettable. And I'm super excited now for next year. I definitely want to win again so I can go back. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this series of vlogs as much as I enjoyed making them. And of course, I just want to say happy holidays to all of us. And I will see you guys soon in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!